getting out of the rabbit hole, one of my favorite topics, because it's something which is hard to do. But in the first place, what is the rabbit hole? The rabbit hole is simply an expression to talk about the endless digging that you need to do to understand how the system really is, what's really going on around you, right? What is the function of the education? How does politics works? How does money emission works? Who is pulling the string behind? What are their intents? Who are they really? All these endless questions about what's really going on and that is behind the facade. Basically, you've got a facade and it's just a perception. Behind there's a lot of things to find. And so use the expression the rabbit hole, because a rabbit hole is dark. There's might be many rooms, many tunnels, and this is a bit the feeling that you have when you start digging and you start exploring all this information, is that where am I right now? And how do I connect this to the other chamber? And you are basically exploring in the dark, right? Sometimes you bump into someone that tells you, oh yeah, you need to go there. Go on the right, left, center, right? And that gives you a bit of more perception about the rabbit hole. But all in all, it's so vast that you can get lost into it. And so it's important that you have people around you that remind you that, well, you could spend your time doing something that create value for you. It's important that you have people around you who ask you, what value do you get from constantly digging or constantly watching this or this channel or this person and stuff like that? And at the end of the day, we need to realize that it's actually an addiction. And we may not like the term because we'll think about addict people, someone addicted that actually doesn't control himself anymore, but to a certain extent, it is an addiction. When you have a few seconds or a few minutes, you take your phone and you come back to this Telegram channel or this Rumble channel or whatever content and start excited. What's going on? Did I miss something? I want to know what is this title, stuff like that, right? Oh, he did that. Oh, and they discover that. Oh, and they have this new document, and it's endless. Think about it. It's really endless, but it managed to catch your attention almost on a constant basis, to the point where if you were to look at how many hours a day cumulatively you spend on watching video or digging into the rabbit hole, and this ends up being a significant amount of your time. But fundamentally ask yourself, what is the value? Well, what value did I get out of this, right? So my brain was actually busy on something, I was excited, maybe there's this dopamine kicking in and all these kind of things. I am no expert on that, right? I'm no expert on the deep psychological processes inside the brain that actually trigger and get you to come back to this. So if you are, you're welcome to come to us and explain it to people, because that would be interesting as well. But the key point is your time so useless that you should, so free, so cheap that you should spend so much of it in digging inside the rabbit hole, where if you fundamentally look at the value, there's no value for you. You are not progressing on a daily basis. You get a piece of information, yes, but it doesn't contribute to anything in your life most of the time. And unless you realize this, you're not going to change. You're not going to say, okay, let's stop that a bit. And I don't ask you to cut this down from one day overnight. I'm not asking you to switch from 3 hours a day to 0 minutes. I'm asking you to switch from 3 hours a day to maybe limit yourself to 2 hours first, right? And you will naturally start managing it. And it's an addiction, right? So you can't cut your addiction from one day to another day. You need to start being aware of it and managing it, right? This is the key point. To the point where you will arrive in a situation where you don't need the thing anymore. And sometimes you may revert to it. But if you revert to it, catch yourself. Okay, I fell into it once more. Why did I need to do this, right? And sometimes you actually may need to revert to it for a little bit of time, right? Because it's hard to control yourself, right? But I do think that the help I can provide you on this is ask yourself fundamental question. Does it bring fundamentally something to my life? Is it my vision of me thriving? Is me spending 3, 4, 5 hours a day on digging into the rabbit hole my vision of me thriving? What benefit do I get out of this? So these are fundamental questions that you can always come back to, and you know the answer to that most of the time, right? But it helps you. It helps you to say, okay, it's actually I don't get much value from that. I rather, I don't know, spend time with my kid, or even go to the park or go to the beach, go to the beachfront, do some physical exercise, or I rather even go to a bar to drink with a friend, because it will be even more value into this, you connecting with real people, than accessing information that they just, this might be dopamine, you might be excited, the way they talk is super exciting. People like Russell Brand, GPRs, a lot of US TV programs, US TV presenter, they talk in such an appealing, entertaining way that it's just so addicting. It's just so addictive, sorry. But you've got to realize it, right? It's a trick being played on you so that you actually waste your time. Have you thought that actually you staying in the rabbit hole is one of the best strategies your opponent can have? They keep you into the rabbit hole because they know that fundamentally you're not going to do anything except watching those videos, except getting your daily dose of excitement. And so as you are not doing anything, you are no threat at all to me. So I can continue my bullshit. I can continue to work on my journey toward enslaving you, and that's perfect for me. It's something to realize, right? Because you need almost a unique reason for moving out of the rabbit hole. And I think one of the unique reasons is that it's actually part of the strategy to keep you in the rabbit hole by the exact people that you are actually the news mostly related to the rabbit hole is, we start getting them on that, we'll get them and stuff like that. But at the same time, they're actually progressing their strategy because they keep you in the rabbit hole. And you may know that there's a lot of control opposition, right? So there's people who animate the rabbit hole and tell you, we start getting them on that, and then they'll be prosecuted, and then they will never get out of this. But actually it's control opposition, so they know exactly what they are doing. They know exactly that they will get out of it. But they play on your perception of things. Perception versus reality all over again. So try to get yourself out of the rabbit hole. Ask yourself also, what additional piece of information do I really need out of the rabbit hole to start going into action? Because a part of you guys will go into action against the system, right? You will start to move toward thriving and get out of your enslavement. get out of the monopoly game. So what additional piece of information do you fundamentally need to get to be able to start going into action? And it might be that, yeah, you need an information, for instance, on the financial system because you want to take action from the money, the financial perspective, right? So you do need to do a bit of digging, but do a precise digging, right? So know in your garden, where do you want to dig? You want to dig on the financial part, right? And you want to understand even within financial, just this part. You don't need to understand everything, but you want to understand specifically this part, and who can you talk to understand just this part? Not talking to someone bullshit doesn't bring you anything valuable, but talking to an expert or listening to an expert, understanding the scope, what's going on, and then you can start taking action. And as you start taking action, there's actually other people who say, okay, this guy is taking action on that, and oh, I am spending time in the rabbit hole, so why don't I actually switch and come with him, and we take action together, and then we progress. And as we actually work together, our understanding gets better and better, and you grow with other people who join the stuff. And this is what's happening. I'm running Peopleizer, and I'm seeing it on a daily basis. People who have decided to stop spending time in the rabbit hole and have decided to thrive. And as they decide to thrive, they are actually lighthouse for a lot of people around them. And although you may be digging in the rabbit hole, the light still reach you. You get out of the rabbit hole, say what's going on. Okay, there's this community there, there's this platform there, there's these guys building this platform and stuff like that. It's like, well, there's a lot of things happening around there at the floor level, right? So why don't I join them and do something together, right? There's so much going on, but yeah, get your head out of the rabbit hole. I don't know, do experience, try to just switch off your phone for a day, right? So your interaction may come back, like you may feel uncomfortable, stressed, angry, you may be angry at whoever talked to you, but it's like start to regain control of yourself, right? Realize your self-worth, your time is highly valuable, so you don't want to waste it on the wrong thing, especially in the current context, because the journey toward enslavement, it's still happening right now, right? So we've got a lot of work to do, and a lot of people are there to actually work on it. So feel free to join them. Thank you.